Moving to another question. Another question: when there is no opening stock of work in progress, but there are process losses. Okay, so before going to the question, firstly I would like to tell you the different kind of treatment of losses. So firstly we would be talking about the normal loss. Normal loss in equivalent production will take it as a nil. It means will not take the units in equivalent production. In other words, normal loss is not added to the equivalent production, but its realizable value. Realizable value of normal scrap is deducted from the cost of material. So as to calculate the final cost of or net material cost. The net material cost becomes the basis of calculating the material cost per unit in the statement of cost. Second thing is we have abnormal loss. We have already done abnormal loss, abnormal gain in the previous video, but here the calculation is different. So in this, the abnormal loss, it is treated as that there were good lost. Abnormal loss is added to equivalent production with due consideration to its degree of completion. Unless the degree of completion is not specified, so we'll take it as 100%. Abnormal gain units are represented by the good finished production. It is therefore always taken as 100%. It means abnormal loss, if it is given, then we would take the completed units as a percentage. If it is not given, so we would take it as 100%. In abnormal gain also we would take it as 100%. Or abnormal gain is also deducted to obtain the equivalent production. So we would go to the illustration 8.8. What I am doing here? Illustration 8.8. So see the illustration 8.8. In this particular question, what we are required to make: the first thing, prepare a statement of equivalent production, then evaluate the cost of abnormal loss, finished goods and closing stock, and prepare the process 1 account and abnormal loss account. It means we'll have to make 4 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. So firstly we'll make the statement of equivalent production. This is A part. Statement of equivalent production. So what we do in equivalent production, firstly we'll write down the input units. Then we'll focus on output. In output we do have units. Then we have equivalent units. Equivalent units of all the elements of cost. Equivalent units, we have material, here we have quantity percentage, we have labor with quantity percentage, we have overheads with quantity percentage. So we have already made the statement of equivalent production. Now we'll write down the figures which we have in question. Okay, so we'll start with the input units. Input units, according to this question, during a month 2000 units were introduced into process 1. So we do have input units and these are 2000. Then whenever we have normal loss or abnormal gain, firstly we would write down these 3 things. If we have abnormal gain, abnormal loss and normal loss. So according to this question, if you will see the question, in this question the normal loss was estimated at 5% on input. Input, 5% of input, that means we'll write down normal loss here. Units are 5%, it means 100 units. as when I was talking about the calculation of normal loss, I was saying that we would consider normal units as nil. We would only write down the total units of normal loss, but we would not consider it in different elements of cost. So here we have already written 100, and then we'll blank all the elements of cost. Then the second, we have already abnormal loss here, so we would obviously write down abnormal loss also. Abnormal loss, if you will see the question is saying at the end of the month 1400 units had been produced and transferred to the next process. 460 units were uncompleted and 140 units had been scrapped. So if you do the total of these three, then you can see that the 40 units are not mentioned here. 40 units are missed. So that's why abnormal loss would be the 40 units. 40 units, and we'll take it as 100% as I told you, because there is no it is not written here that how much completion was there for abnormal loss. So we would consider it as a 100%. 100%. The next thing we have again finished production. Finished production, we have 1400 units. At the end of the month, 1400 units had been produced and transferred to next process. That means finished production was 1400 units. It would also transfer to next process 100%. So 1400, 100%, 1400, 100%. Okay, the last thing and very important thing is work in progress. That the completion stage is already given here. 75%, the total is for 460. For material it is 75%, that means 345, 75%. And for labor 50 and for overhead 50, that means 230, 50% and 230, 50%. So now we can find out the total of all the elements. Total of all the elements, here we have 2000, here we have 1785 for material, then we have 1670 for labor, and same 1670 for your overheads. So this is what these are the equivalent units. Now, equivalent production. I'm rubbing it out. Now we would make the statement of cost, through which we can find out cost per unit. That would be our statement B. Now what statement B is saying? In statement of cost, what we are looking for? Cost per unit. So in this, we have cost per unit for materials. In this question, how it is different from the previous question? Because in this material will have to add the direct material and units introduced, then we'll have to deduct the scrap value which is given in the question. So here we have units introduced, here we have cost in rupees, that would be A. We have units, equivalent production or equivalent units. That would be B. And then finally we'll have to find out the cost per unit. that is A divided by B. Units introduced are 50, 800, and your direct material would be 1440. So we can find out the total, that is 7240. So to find out the direct material cost, we'll have to deduct the scrap value of normal loss. So less scrap value of normal loss. The scrap value was, the units were 100, so obviously the scrap value, realizable value, realized value, unit scrap realized rupees 1 each. So the 100 means 100 into 1 equals to 100. So we'll deduct this 100, so we can have the material cost. Material cost we have, that is 7140. Now we have direct labor. Direct labor cost is 3340, and your overheads are 1670. Okay, so we can write down the final amount, that is 12,150. And here we have equivalent units for these three. For the material cost we had 1785. For direct labor we have 1670, and for overheads we have 1670. Okay, so the total cost per unit we can calculate by dividing this by this. So we have 4, 2 and 1. So the total cost would be 7. Cost per unit. Total cost per unit would be 7. So next we'll make the statement of evaluation. So now we'll make the statement of evaluation. This is the C statement of evaluation. Now what we'll have to evaluate, obviously we'll have to, we have already done things for normal loss, now we'll do things for abnormal loss. So here we have particulars. Then we have element of cost. Then equivalent production. Cost per unit. Cost. And then total cost. These were in rupees. This is also in rupees. Okay, we'll start with the abnormal loss. Abnormal loss, we have material, we have labor, we have overheads. Abnormal loss was 40 for all the elements. 40 was the abnormal loss units, and it was 100%. That's why we took 40 only. So the cost per unit we had already calculated, that is 421. So the cost would be 160, 80 and 40. So the total of abnormal loss is 280. The second is finished production or finished goods. Again, material, labor and overheads. For this it was 1400 and 1400. Why we are taking 1400? Because finished production we also take on 100 basis. 4, 2, 1. The same cost per unit we would take here. That is 5600, 2800 and 1400. So the total would be 9800. 9800 for finished production. Then the last one is work in progress. Material, labor and overheads. For this it was 345, 230 and 230. 4, 2, 1. And the cost would be 1380460 and your 230. The total of this would be your 2070. Okay, so the total cost is 12,150. If you find out any confusion in between the question, or so you can text me, message me or WhatsApp me. Next thing we are supposed to make, that is your process account. So we'll make the process one account here. Particulars, units and rupees. Particulars, units and rupees. So we had units introduced. Units introduced were 2000 and the amount was 5800. To direct material 1440. To direct labor 3340. To production overheads, that is your 1670. So the total is 12250 and 2000. On the credit side, we have, firstly we will write down normal loss. So by normal loss, the units were 100 and the realized value, scrap value was 1 rupee 1. So 100 rupees total. Then by abnormal loss, if we would have abnormal gain, so we could write down it here, not here. Here we'll write down the losses. Abnormal losses 40 and the total cost was 280. By finished production, which is transferred to process 2, that is your 1400 and the total cost was 9800. These costs you can find out in previous statement of evaluation. Then the last is by balance carried down. These are the balancing figure. Balance carried down, or we can say work in progress. These are 460 and the total cost was 2070. So the total would be 12, 240, 250 and the 2000. This is normal loss account. In abnormal loss account we have particulars, units, piece, particulars, units and rupees. Okay, so abnormal loss obviously we'll write down to process 1. I have already told you how to do abnormal loss calculation. So here 40 units are there and the total amount was 280. So the total would be 40 and 280. On the credit side we have by sale of scrap. Sale of scrap we had 40 units and the amount is 40 because realizable value was 1. And by the rest amount would be transferred to costing P&L. So by costing P&L account, the rest amount would be transferred. So the rest amount is 240, so 280 and 40. Okay, that is the question when there is opening stock and your process losses. Next we have when there is opening as well as closing stock of work in progress. That we can do with the help of two different methods, that is FIFO and average cost method. I have already sent you the illustration. These are not very much difficult. FIFO method you know, average stock method you know. So just practice those questions. If you'll find out any problem, any confusion, then let me know. In the next video I would tell you what is the difference when you are supposed to use the FIFO method and when you are supposed to use the average stock method. And after that this chapter would be finished. So I would try to send you the next video tomorrow or day after tomorrow. That would be on operating costing. So operating costing chapter we would be completed in 1 week time. I would try, and whatever questions you have related to process costing, please let me know. Then only I would understand that are you getting these chapters, are you getting these videos or not. So your feedback is very much necessary, and thank you so much.